Hello everyone, I all hope you had a very wonderful I all hope you had a very wonderful, beautiful day and a very, very great day ahead. On today's episode, I'll be talking about Mr. Big Dog, who is a super villain and also a crime lord on his home planet, known throughout the sacred world, known throughout the sacred world and throughout the sacred universe as Red Bar as Red Bar. Planet Red Bar is a huge world that is quietly ruled by the founders, and Mr. Big Dog is a freaking collaborator of the founders, as in making him an ally of the founders, a secret society of supervillains that is dedicated in conquering vast worlds and vast planets and vast star systems throughout the sacred universe and throughout the known universe and throughout the known universe and throughout the known universe and throughout the rest of sacred existence by any and all means necessary. Early history. Mr. Big Dog is a supervillain and also a crime lord. He began his reputation in hand-to-hand combat, in fighting superheroes and Four-Nation hunters in his early life, taking on the reputation as Mr. Big Dog. According to the Four-Nation Hunter database, Mr. Big Dog is a very, very powerful crime lord who exactly rules his home world with an iron fist, and he exactly rules it with an iron fist exactly. He rules his people with an iron fist. He rules his people with an iron fist, and he exactly rules his home world. We believing it to be a greater for the greatness of his people in order to make it transforming it into a great monarchy for his people and for the rest of his civilization. During at that time, he clashed with the Four-Nation Hunters over some time, and he fought with them. The Four-Nation Hunters fought with Big Dog, able to try to take him out, able to try to take Mr. Big Dog, able to exactly try to take out Mr. Big Dog. They able to exactly confront him, but Mr. Big Dog possesses superhuman power, super strength, super durability, endurance, and super speed and super strength. The powers that he has exactly able to exactly fight off the Four-Nation Hunters in hand-to-hand combat has made him in quite an excellent strategist and an excellent villain at best in hand-to-hand combat. Also resistant to telepathic mind, and he can also speak any languages. So Four-Nation Hunters able to clash with Mr. Big Dog over some time over some time, and they were able to exactly fight him. They were able to exactly fight him off. They were able to exactly fight him. Able to exactly fight him. Able to exactly fight him by destroying the last supply of shadow energy, which was able to collect from the Shadow Empire, which the Four-Nation Hunters were able to exactly successfully destroy in his early life. At that course of his early life, at that course of that early life, Mr. Big Dog became an ally of the founders, supplying them with more dangerous, powerful chemicals in order to fuel their ambition and their goals and their mission and their conquest. And he even allowed the founders to rule his home planet, known as Planet Red Ball, which the founders successfully exactly did. The Dog King and Dog Grey, Queen Ivy, Dog Witch Boy, Red Boy, Mr. X, Silverface were all pleased to exactly rule. Were all pleased to exactly rule. They were all pleased to exactly rule. Were all pleased to exactly rule. They were all pleased to exactly rule Mr. Big Dog's home planet, and they were all very quietly happy to exactly rule it and able to exactly have an ally as Mr. Big Dog himself to exactly ally to exactly ally to have an ally as Mr. Big Dog himself to exactly help them accomplish their goals and their missions and their conquest missions to conquering worlds and vast civilizations across the sacred universe by any and all means necessary. Despite this, Mr. Big Dog is very ruthless and very ambitious. He will do just about anything to further his own goal and his own ambition, even to exactly help the secret society of supervillains known as the founders in conquering vast worlds and vast civilization. He uses his laws. He uses his main fleet of battle cruisers to conquer vast worlds and vast civilization. At the near at the near at the near early year at the new at the new at the new year in the year big Mr. Big Dog launched a full-scale invasion across other worlds and across other planets by using a full-scale invasion of his battle cruisers and his fleet to attack other worlds and attack other civilizations The intergalactic coalition and the Four-Nation hunters were able to anticipate this, were able to exactly anticipate this, and they were able to successfully prevent Mr. Big Dog from conquering vast worlds and vast civilizations. They were able to exactly fight off with Mr. Big Dog and his fleet. Two sides of the war were highly decimated from the battle range. From the battle range, the battle cruisers were decimated from both sides. Both sides suffered enormous amounts of casualties, but they were unable to exactly catch all the agents and all the forces that were under Mr. Big Dog's control, which they were able to successfully teleport away in a very much of a few months. But the members of the Intergalactic Coalition were able to exactly apprehend some of the other agents and some of the other forces during the battle and during the war when all the other battle cruisers were all decimated. But they were able to exactly send them straight into the Astral Prison to be questioned and to be asked to be interrogated by the Four-Nation hunters to ask question exactly if Mr. Big Dog is the one responsible for the full-scale invasion and for the full-scale invasion and for the full-scale invasion and for the full assault on the other worlds and all the other civilization. Mr. Big Dog was able to reconvene with the members of the founders in 2 July in order to ask them about the next plan, in order to ask the founders about the next plan. Dark Gray reassured him and said that the plan is in place to conquering all worlds and all civilizations in order to exactly let it go through. The universal heroes have no idea what exactly hit them. In the Order of Darkness the Order of Darkness, a powerful organization of dark supervillain assassins were hired in order to kill the Four-Nation Hunter Council and leaders. The world heroes were able to anticipate this and they were successfully able to prevent the assassins from killing their targets, which they successfully did exactly by doing so. They were able to exactly save life, capture some of the other assassins of the Order of Darkness, Some of the other assassins were able to escape during the battle. The others were able to exactly escape during the battle. The others were somehow taken into custody by the world heroes and sentenced straight into the Astral Prison to be interrogated, exactly to be done so. Mr. Big Dog was quietly pleased as he watched the footage of the event, seeing the world heroes exactly saving their targets from being assassinated. He was quietly pleased with the event and was very quietly happy. He told some of his men to exactly proceed with the rest of the plan in attacking the world heroes and also disgracing their reputations and putting a bad name to the world heroes' reputation and also making sure that they quietly remain bad as it's supposed to. The plan didn't quite go well as planned, as the world heroes triumphed with their reputation by bringing it up to speed and bringing up light into their reputation by saving random villages from Mr. Big Dog's men and from his agents, which they successfully did in doing so. They were able to take some of the other bad guys into custody. Some of the other bad guys were quietly sent into the rehabilitation center to be rehabilitated into the Intergalactic Coalition in order to exactly receive some clarity and redemption over their past actions and their bad deeds, which they quietly did when they were under the control of Mr. Big Dog's crystal control chips, which were planted inside their necks, which they were able to say that the world heroes were quietly set up, but the world heroes didn't quietly take that badly when they knew they were strictly set up for the bad guy, which they knew that it was Mr. Big Dog who was quietly behind the entire setup. Mr. Big Dog was able to meet up with Mr. X and exactly able to confirm that the plan is quietly still in place and everything else is still in motion. Mr. X told Mr. Big Dog to exactly wait patiently as everything else is in place in order to make the heroes look bad and quietly letting them fall into right when the plan is quietly falling into place when everything else is quietly falling straight into place, as Mr. X quietly said. Mr. Big Dog was quietly fascinated and quietly very pleased with the results, and with the results he was able to get. The world heroes were able to save Sacred City and the Sacred Town from a big android attack that was sent in by Rogue Shadow Commander of the Shadow Empire, which was able to exactly destroy it. And Mr. Big Dog watched within the footage. Mr. Big Dog was able to watch from the audio feed, and I was very quietly pleased with the world heroes' actions and with their movements by saving the Sacred City and also the Sacred Village of Sumer from a powerful android, from a powerful robotic android, which was able to exactly almost destroy the entire city. But despite this, Mr. Big Dog is very ambitious and very determined. He has superhuman strength, super durability, super speed, immortality rate. He's an immortal being, and he's also a Mr. Businessman. He always puts in a serum. He always puts in a serum of shadow energy inside his bloodstream, able to exactly boost his immortality rate and losing 100% of his insanity, and also of his inhumanity. Mr. Big Dog is a very, 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 very powerful ally of the founders. He assists the founders on their missions in conquering vast worlds and vast planets across the known universe and across the rest of sacred existence by any means necessary. He even harvests crystals from other worlds and other planets in order to create destructive technologies and powerful technologies, supplying the founders with endless technologies and more dark technologies as part of the agreement, as he and the founders quietly said. As the founders rule Mr. Big Dog's home world and home planet, they quietly rule it with an iron fist. The Dark King is even very quietly pleased with a powerful crime lord as an ally at his side in order to assist him and aid him in his conquest in conquering the sacred universe and all other universes, the star universe, the mixel universe, the robotic universe, the golden universe, the sacred universe, and all other universes by any and all means necessary. Despite this, Mr. Big Dog can speak any languages: Spanish, Maljobi language, and Spanish and English and Afrikaans and Germany, and also Mexican. He's a very, very, very powerful tactician and very, very master strategist, and he's a very powerful influence businessman. He's a very powerful business influence man, and he very much quietly hates the universal heroes and the world heroes with his guts and with his life. He's very, very skilled. He's very, very skilled and very, very skilled in deception and in manipulating, and very, very skilled in deception and also in manipulating events and to fall under his control and saving all worlds and all planets in order to benefit him and his cause and his own mission. Despite this, he supplies the founders with endless technologies and endless shipments of shadow energy for Dark Witch Boy to experiment on unlocking the secrets of shadow energy, able to exactly give them endless power and endless technology as part of their new agreement. He even became the ally of the founders in aiding them in their mission and in their conquest and conquering the sacred universe and all worlds and all planets throughout the sacred universe and throughout the rest of sacred existence by any and all means necessary. He's very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, swordsmanship, in shurikens and adaptability, in agility, super strength, super speed, durability. He's very, very skilled, and he's a very, very powerful master tactician. Mr. Big Dog is a very powerful crime lord, and he is determined to conquering all worlds and all planets. When the Intergalactic Coalition liberated thousands of worlds from the Shadow Empire's control, he was very, very, very happy to see the Shadow Empire fall, he was very happy to see the Shadow Empire losing its power and its grip across all the other worlds and all the other planets, which gave him the opportunity to conquering vast worlds and vast civilizations across the known universe, which he successfully did by taking the opportunity and by taking advantage of the opportunity, seeing the Shadow Empire losing its power and also its reputation, which it exactly did by empowering himself and the rest of his people, which he exactly did by conquering vast worlds and vast planets for the founders and for his people in order for them to expand their empire, in order for him to expand his empire and his dominion over the known universe and over the known universe and also throughout the sacred world by any and all means necessary. Despite this, Mr. Big Dog is very ambitious and he's a very powerful crime lord who is very quietly determined to take down Universal Man, Sacred Man, the Four Nation Hunters. He clashed with the Four Nation Hunters over the past few centuries, which he quietly did. Over his early life, Mr. Big Dog was quietly trained in hand-to-hand combat in Master Tactician by Shadow Master, who's the original member of the secret society of supervillains known as the Order of the Five that decides the fate of humanity, which I previously told you about. Shadow Master trained Mr. Big Dog in hand-to-hand combat, in agility and swordsmanship in his early life trained him and guided him in a ways of fighting his enemies and outmaneuvering his enemies and even taught him ways of deception and manipulation to manipulate allies and enemies and play into his schemes. He taught him and he guided him in the ways of the ninja and in the ways of the dark shadow warrior, which he successfully exactly did. Mr. Big Dog is very ambitious, as his ambition has touched the world, and he's touched his home planet and his home world as he began expanding his region and his entire city by any and all means necessary, which he quite successfully did exactly. His ambition has touched the sacred world throughout the darkest and throughout the lightest. Throughout sacred history, Mr. Big Dog has conquered 5 planets and 10 worlds, meaning 15 worlds are under his sole control and are under the sole control over the secret society of supervillains known as the Founders, which is quietly led by the Dark King. As part of the new agreement, Mr. Big Dog decided to supply the Founders with more worlds and more planets, as the Founders decided to supply Mr. Big Dog with more men, with more followers, with more men, and the Dark Druids and the Dark Witches and the Dark Faithful decided to supply Mr. Big Dog with endless dark crystal technology, and destructive technology as part of the new deal and new agreement. He became a frequent collaborator of the Founders since then, and he still is a frequent collaborator of the Founders. He formed an alliance with the Founders, and he decided to work with them and helping them with their goals and their mission in conquering the known universe and the rest of the sacred universe and the rest of the planets and the known worlds throughout the sacred universe and throughout the known universe by any and all means necessary. Mr. Big Dog is very, very ambitious and very determined. He frequently clashed with the Four Nation Hunters over time and over the following years of his career and over the following years of his reputation. He even exactly fought off with the Four Nation Hunters over the following years, which he successfully did. The Four Nation Hunters came to his home planet in order to investigate the origin of lots of containment of lots of shipment of shadow energy, which they successfully did, trying to exactly investigate. They managed to bring down the supply chain of shadow energy from Mr. Big Dog's home world and home planet, which they successfully did, which left a bad mark and a very bad reputation on his home world, which Mr. Big Dog did not take it lightly. He did not exactly take it lightly by any and all means. He did not exactly take it lightly. He took it very, very badly. Mr. Big Dog is very ruthless through his core. He will destroy and kill any hero and any hero who poses a threat to his mission and to his reputation. He even formed an alliances with some of the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, helping them with their goal in conquering vast worlds and vast civilizations. In return, the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders will supply him with more worlds and more planets and more civilizations that are under his control as part of their deal. But since the Intergalactic Coalition has managed to liberate thousands of worlds and thousands of planets under the Shadow Empire's control, which they successfully did in any way, which delivered a major victory to the Intergalactic Coalition instead of the Shadow Empire losing its power. Since of the other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders have formed alliances with other secret society of supervillains known as the Founders, the Sacred Circle, the Order of the Five, the Order of the Six, the Order of the Seven, the Order of the Eight, 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 and the Order of the Eight, and Lord Justin and Lord Harvick and the Harvick Corps, and all the other secret society of supervillains and Lord Ra, and all of that exactly. Despite this, Mr. Big Dog is is a very powerful strategist and a master tactician, forming alliances with other supervillains known as the Dark King, Dark Grey, Dark Witch Boy, Red Boy, Mr. X, Queen Ivy, Silverface. These supervillains are a group of supervillains who are known as the Founders, who are a secret society of supervillains who are dedicated to conquering known worlds and known planets and known worlds by any and all means necessary. Mr. Big Dog is a frequent collaborator of those villains, and he's an ally of the Founders. He will help them in conquering vast worlds and vast civilization. His home planet and home world is under the sole control over the secret society of supervillains known as the Founders. Despite this, Mr. Big Dog is very deceptive and very manipulative, as he will manipulate the heroes, manipulating allies and heroes into playing to his schemes in order to benefit him and his goals in conquering vast worlds and vast civilization. Even his commanders Even his commanders quietly fear him, and they quietly fear him, and they quietly respect him. They have traumatic respect for him, and they have a great respect for him, and they have a great traumatic respect for him, and they quietly obey his rules and his mission, and respect his choices by any and all means necessary. Even the dog druids and the dog witches and the dog faithful respect Mr. Big Dog, and they quietly see him as a living savior, and as a living savior, and as a living being by any and all means necessary. Despite this, Mr. Big Dog is very ruthless, very determined, and very ambitious. He has conquered 5 worlds and 10 planets, which makes it 15 worlds. 15 worlds are under his sole control and under the sole control of the founders. His home planet is called Planet Red Bar, as in Planet Red Bar itself. Planet Bar, as in Planet Bar. Planet Bar is on the far fringes of the sacred universe, meaning far away, meaning on the deeper edges of space, and is under the sole control over the founders. As per of the new agreement, Mr. Big Dog will continue supplying the founders with endless technologies, with endless shipments of stellar energy and endless worlds and endless planets. In return, the founders will continue supplying Mr. Big Dog with more powerful destructive technologies and more worlds and more planets in order to expand his dominion and his rule throughout the sacred universe and throughout the sacred world. Mr. Big Dog will do about anything to exactly rise his reputation, putting it on top of the sacred underworld by any and all means necessary. In the underworld, he's very powerful and very feared villain, and very quietly hated by other villains and other criminals. Ghostmaster and Golden Knight and Metal Face, Ghostmaster and Metal Face and Golden Knight quietly despise Mr. Big Dog, as in quietly, as in they hate him. They don't all 4 of them don't exactly get along, as in they have long history not exactly getting along, but they do share the same goals and the same ideals in order to bring down the universal heroes and the Intergalactic Coalition and the rest of the world heroes by any and all means necessary. But despite this, Mr. Big Dog will do just about anything to bring down the universal heroes and the rest of the Intergalactic Coalition. But despite this, the universal heroes will take down Mr. Big Dog and the founders, and they will exactly stop their plans before they come and reach into fruition. Despite this, Mr. Big Dog is very, very aggressive in battle, and is very, very cunning and very deceptive. He'll do just about anything to win in war and win in battle in order to control some worlds and some planets. When the Shadow Empire lost the Little Magic hearing the demise of the Little Magic, he was very quietly pleased and very quietly happy with the demise of the Little Magic, as in he saw the perfect opportunity to conquering vast worlds and vast civilizations and putting them under his sole control, by any and all means necessary, which he secretly exactly did. He placed the other worlds under his sole control by putting them under the control over the founders, which he successfully did. And the Dark King and the rest of the founders were all quietly happy and quietly pleased with the success of progress, which they were all very quietly pleased and very quietly happy. Despite this, Mr. Big Dog is very skilled in hand-to-hand combat, agility, endurance, super strength, super speed. He has superpowers. He's resistant to telepathic. His mind can resist telepathic readings, and all of that. And he even has immortality rate. He's an immortal villain who has lived over the following centuries. He has lived over the following centuries over the 10th. He has lived over the following centuries over the following centuries. He has lived over the following centuries over the years. He has lived for many, many centuries, and he still is alive, and he's a freaking collaborator over the founders, meaning, in other words, he's an ally over the founders. He exactly will aid them in their mission in conquering vast worlds and vast planets across the sacred universe by any and all means necessary. And he'll do just about anything to put his reputation on top of the criminal world, and he'll do just about anything to control the sacred underworld by any and all means necessary. Mr. Big Dog is very ambitious and a very, very powerful villain, and a very power-hungry villain who'll do just about anything to exactly seize control of worlds and power by any and all means necessary, forming alliances with other Shadow Empire warlords and commanders, aiding them with a mission and the ambition in order to further his own ambition and his own goals by any and all means necessary to conquering vast worlds and vast planets, which will successfully exactly do. Despite this, Mr. Big Dog is a very powerful business influencer man, very skilled in adaptability and very skilled in manipulation and in deceptive and in deception and in deception and also in deceiving his enemies and the heroes and the universal heroes by any and all means necessary. He hates them and he despises them, and he'll do just about anything to bring down the universal heroes, the Galactic Coalition, the World Heroes, the United Heroes, the United Heroes, the Sacred Team, the Five Heroes, the Universal Defenders, the Universal Space Heroes. He'll do just about anything to bring them down and also stopping them in order to further his own goal and his own ambition by any and all means necessary. Mr. Big Dog is a very powerful influencer and a very powerful villain and a very powerful crime lord and a freaking collaborator and an ally over the founders. His home world is under the sole control over the secret society of supervillains known as the founders. Well, I all hope you enjoyed this video and this episode about Mr. Big Dog, who is a freaking collaborator and an ally over the founders, a secret society of supervillains that is quietly dedicated to conquering vast worlds and vast civilizations across the sacred universe and across the sacred world by any and all means necessary. Well, I all hope you enjoyed this video about Mr. Big Dog and I all hope you have a wonderful and a very blessed day. Stay safe and stay sharp. See you on the next episode. Bye. Bye.